So I just hit live. Now I'm just going to, I got my other computer right here, so I'm just going to double check and make sure it is streaming. And it looks like it is. Okay, great. I'm going to like it. I'm not subscribed to myself or on my other computer, whatever I'm logged into. Okay. So whenever that.
I see someone.
Okay, there we go. All right. Michael Townsend. Yeah. All right. Let's say hi to Michael.
Up where I could see it too. Gotcha.
Okay. Do you see it too? Do you see the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now I'm going to change, because whenever I respond, it says restream. So let me make sure it says doodle. Oh, no, it does say doodle. Okay, great. TJ. Hi, TJ. Random live stream. Hi, Ken. Yeah, I didn't give a lot of announcement for that. Hi, Moto Sally. Okay. Now I got to be careful because once there's only you and me here. Normally I can respond to the live chat a lot and be active, but now if it's only me and you, that means I'm ignoring you. So I'm not going to be doing that today. So I'm going to stop chatting in the live chat right now. But hello, everybody who's popping in already. I posted about a week ago who you all wanted to see on a live stream next, and most of you voted MotoJitsu. He was one of the winners, one of the nominated winners. So he was able to make it. Like, I asked him very last minute, and he was able to be here. So I'm excited. So if everyone, oh, also, what should we call you? Should we call you Greg, MotoJitsu, Fast Eddie, MJ, Sensei?
You can call me whatever you want. People have a million different names, and I don't care what you call me. My name is Greg. A lot of people don't even realize that. There's like 3 names. MotoJitsu is channel name. Greg is my actual name. Fast Eddie is my dad's nickname. And I just adopted it. So he died in 2011. So whenever anybody calls me Fast Eddie or FE, it just reminds me of my dad and has nothing to do with motorcycling. That's just
really? It's not. How did he get the nickname Fast Eddie?
My buddy went out when we were playing basketball. I was like 10 years old. My dad threw a hook shot and he missed. And my buddy said, "Too bad, FE." He's like, "What's FE?" He's like, "Fast Eddie," because my dad's name is Edward. That's my middle name. So he said, "Oh, FE, Fast Eddie." And then all my buddies growing up called him Fast Eddie. I called him Fast Eddie. Like, oh, but it had nothing to do with fast or being fast or motorcycles whatsoever. But I have it tattooed on my arm, Fast Eddie. But when he, I was like, well, I'm making this channel, and then just to remember my dad, I just said Fast Eddie. But people think my name is Eddie, and I'm calling myself Fast, which is pretty ridiculous.
I thought that for a while. Yeah.
But I have a video explaining all this stuff about what FE came to. But most people just don't go back and watch it. But anyway.
Well, you got a lot of videos. For us to watch every single one, I wonder how long it would take. Like literally back to back. Because you have like 1,000 videos, I'm pretty sure, don't you? Like over 1,000?
I just hit 300. I deleted a whole bunch.
Okay. I thought. Okay.
I was just getting a whole bunch of information out there, and I just made so many videos. Like back in 2000, when I first started, just 3 years ago, I made like 97 videos for 97 days straight. I just had so many ideas, and I still have in my phone. I could show you on my phone. I probably have 40 ideas of just to write down the videos to make. So I'm always there's going. Anyway, I just hit over 300, but anyway. Yeah.
Whoa, nice. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so all of you watching right now, just a heads up, since it's just me and MJ, I'm gonna call him MJ for the stream today. So it's just me and MJ. I am not gonna be super active in the chat, but stay tuned because at about 15 minutes, so about, let's say it's 12 p.m. Eastern now, so at about 12:45, I'm gonna open it up to the live chat questions. Maybe earlier, maybe later, depending on how things are going, but I'm going to start out asking MJ questions from YouTube community tab and Instagram. And then I may ask my own questions or move it to you guys in the live chat. So MJ, let's start with you. First, everyone here probably already knows who you are, but just in case not, can you give a little quick introduction about who you are, what's your channel, and then I'll start moving into the social media questions.
Sure. So I just started riding 8 years ago. 8 years will be in August. I just started riding total. And I started riding, take a couple courses. I thought I was awesome, and I crashed and I almost died. And I realized I'm awesome. So I need to take more courses to learn. So I started going crazy and taking as many courses as I can. I became an instructor to help people not make my mistakes, because wisdom is learning from someone else's mistakes. So I had 1,000 as my first bike, riding on with jeans on and a full exhaust. That was me. Then I became an instructor, just started teaching the beginner all the way through the advanced level stuff. And I was doing that for 4 years before I even had a YouTube channel. Then I was like, okay, I'm already doing all this stuff, practicing one-on-one group rides, all this stuff for free, like I've always been doing. But then in June 2018, I was like, well, I'm gonna make a video. And then I just started making more videos. I never thought I would get 500 subscribers, because I don't even know 500 people. And then all of a sudden and then 3 years later, I got, my books and my app and the videos. And so it's funny.
Oh, neat.
The people that know me for a while, I've been doing the same things for a long time. It's only very recently, 3 years, I just started with the YouTube stuff, but I've already been doing forever. But it's just very new to me and new to everybody else about making videos. And then just things came up because people asked me to. What drills can I practice? So I invented MotoJitsu with the belt system. Can you make a book out of it? Sure. And then that turned into 4 books. And then people were like, well, I have the book, but it got wet. And then my buddy offered, he made me the app. Now I have a MotoJitsu app. And then people are like, oh, why don't you start a Patreon? I was like, what the hell is a Patreon? He's like, dude, I love your stuff. I'll give you $1 a month or whatever. So I did that. And then people were like, why don't you make merchandise? I was like, who the hell would buy a shirt that says MotoJitsu on it? But people asked, like, okay, I'll make merchandise. It just all came naturally from people that wanted me to make stuff. And then lo and behold, here we are.
Neat. I don't think I realized that your channel didn't start as like a business you already had. It started as, so it started so then why were you posting videos? Just for fun?
So I'd go ride
at first.
A lot of the times with passengers on my old BMW 1200 GS. I'd just go riding, and I'd go ride, and I'd be leading the fast group of sport bikes out in the twisties. And we get down to the halfway point, and people would come up to me all the time, every single weekend, like, dude, how do you do that? What about trail braking? I want to learn bike position. And I'd be talking to people. And then the next week, those guys would tell 5 other people. Then those 10 people would come to see me next week and ask me the same types of questions. I was like, you know what? Why don't you make a video about it? Now you can watch as many times you want to. I don't have to do something 20 times. And that came videos. Okay, then people are like, oh, can you please make these 20 videos about these 20 different things? I was like, okay, well, I'll just make videos. And then, but it came from just people asking me the same questions about cornering and bike position and U-turns and how do I do this stuff. And that's how it all started. I had no idea. I didn't even think I was going to get monetized. Nothing. I didn't care. I've already been doing that stuff for 4 years, teaching, instructing, and YouTube is just like a secondary afterthought.
Cool. The internet's a crazy place like that. I was so sure that I would post 3 videos and then suddenly I'd be a full-time YouTuber. And then 4 years after of it being a hobby, and I still loved it even though it was just a hobby. I thought, okay, I'm addicted to this. I need to figure out how to get paid to do this or stop. So I'm really glad I've been able to become my job. But yeah, again, also it wasn't 100% planned or like what I knew what I was doing. It kind of happened. Okay, so we got a little more people watching than we first started. So I want to say a quick hello to the people in the side chat and let them know we're gonna let you ask some questions about the last 15 minutes. And I'm going to start off with the Instagram and YouTube community questions. But I want to say hi to you guys real fast. Some of you in the chat. I see Victor, Jube, Num1, Charles M, Ryan Carter, Sab Crazy, Scott, DNR, Boosted, Moto Pappy, Wendy, Harmarsh, Rick. I saw Moto Blonder up there earlier. Robert, Jared, Wendy, Tecton, Moto Sally, Banks, Lewis, Ronald. Okay, now I don't want to spend the rest of the live stream listing names, but I just want you to all know, thank you for being here. I love you guys, and I'm not ignoring you. All right. Okay. So, MJ, I'm going to start on the questions now. Okay. First question is from JRM675. Ooh, do you have a street triple R like mine? He asked, what made you decide to go with boxer briefs under the leather chaps instead of tighty whities?
Actually,
I'm going to pull something up if people don't know what that is.
Yeah, they actually are boxer brief. I just kind of rolled it up a little bit.
Oh, you just wanted to show more skin.
So I was like, It's a silly because that picture came up as a joke. I was riding with my buddy at his dirt ranch. We built a 1/4 mile dirt track around his property, and he was like, "Dude, why don't you you're coming up on 200,000 subscribers. What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I'll do something for fun." And he was like, "Why don't you ride around my dirt track wearing like chaps or something?" As a joke, he said it, and then because of that, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll actually create a. I was gonna do a video of me riding with that outfit, riding my dirt bike around.
Oh gosh,
I'll just make
I'm
a
gonna
picture.
get demonetized.
It came from a silly idea of my buddy suggesting it. So I was like, I don't want that.
Okay, so that's what that is, everybody, if you're wondering. Okay, now take this off before YouTube flags me. Okay, stop screen sharing. Next question. Why is Doodle your favorite motorcycles ever?
Why is Doodle my favorite motorcyclist?
Yeah. But, hey, I'm just reading the questions.
Okay, so just like I was telling you before we started, I only watch your videos because it's not like you're doing educational stuff that I'm trying to, like Yamaha Champions Riding School. It's not like I'm trying to gain information or something like that. I just like your perspective and the way you do things, and you're like air. There's like no resistance. Everything is just clear and it's
I'm
easy.
A spearhead. No,
It's easy to listen to, and it's easy to listen to, and I enjoy watching your videos, but I don't watch anybody else's videos on YouTube that does anything. The other videos I watch are, professional racers or champ school stuff, or somebody when I'm trying to learn something involving the motorcycle world anyway. But anybody that's
Unlucky.
doing,
I got in by a hair.
yeah, anybody else doing educational type of stuff on YouTube, it just seems that it's more like blue belt knowledge maybe, and I'm looking for deeper level information, like black belt and beyond level information. So that's why I gravitate towards champ school, California Superbike School, et cetera, like the PhD level. But your videos are, because of that, it's easy to listen to, and I like your perspective and the way you see a lot of things, and it's just
Thank you. It's probably too because since I am talking about learning from others, I bet it's probably like hearing from students. I feel like is what I would think my videos are like for like someone who's an instructor.
And it gives me a different perspective, because one big thing a lot of people that I find that don't do, if I don't put myself in the student role, I forget what it's like to be a student. Therefore, I can't relate as much. That's why I take so many courses numerous times, because I know and love the feeling of I don't know what I'm talking about. Like when I go to champs and these guys are all professional current racers, I'm the worst rider and I don't know anything. And that's the way I feel. And I love that feeling because there's so much more to look forward to.
Wow.
So I love being in the position where I don't know anything.
You love the feeling of not knowing anything?
Yes. If I feel like I know everything, then I'm in the wrong room. I'm talking to the wrong people. I'm in the wrong crowd. I want to be the dumbest, less skilled person around. That way I can inspiration to go to.
Yeah.
But I put myself in that position a lot to therefore understand the student perspective. And then listening to your videos, it's like, oh, I would never think that, from your perspective, that's a question you would ask. And that's why a lot of my videos come, because it's because of inspiration of there's a big gap of this. How can I make a video about that I can maybe explain it a different way to have more people understand it versus just saying, whatever, because maybe there's a gap, like a beginner level question that people are looking for.
Yeah.
But the people that are trying to explain it don't have the black level knowledge to explain it, the why of how to do it, why it's important, and what you will feel while practicing this. But I just don't, the question I don't know to ask, because I have the knowledge, but I don't know the question to ask. But that's why I watch videos. It gives me a different perspective. It helps me create videos or reply to people. And just taking more courses alone by myself, it keeps me in the perspective of I know what it feels like to be a student. I know what asking questions. I know what my mentality is when I ask questions, and I like feedback and the knowledge. That's why I spend 3-4 hours a day replying to people, because I love doing that. That's because I don't care about editing, flashy video crap, nothing. I just care about getting to people, just talking to actual people.
Yeah. Speaking about your video, can you tell everyone how long it takes you to edit a video?
0. So, like the video I just made, this morning about me riding that Harley Davidson Softail. So the owner of the bike, we were at MotoJitsu practice. I do practice for free every Thursday evenings. And I was like, hey man, can I borrow your bike? And I haven't rode that bike in probably 3 years. He was like, yeah, go ahead, ride it. So I gave my phone to my buddy who was there. I'm like, hey, just hit record and just keep me in the middle of the screen. This is how I make almost all my videos. I don't care who it is. I'll give you my phone and you can make a video. Just look through the phone and just keep me in the middle. And he was like, you want to warm up? What are you going to say? What are you going to talk about? I was like, nah, just hit record. Record. I made the video, which I uploaded today, me riding around his Softail and kind of doing low speed stuff. So I have the video on my phone. I take my phone to my computer. I airdrop it. I put that raw footage phone or the clip into iMovie. That way I could just put the intro and outro in the beginning and the end. I put the movie in there and maybe I have something pop up, which takes 3 seconds and then I'm done. I upload it straight to YouTube. That's it.
Wow.
And I make a thumbnail, which takes 30 seconds because every thumbnail is the same. Just big, bright yellow words because that's what my logo is. So it's just a brand consistent type of thing. So when people see the big, bright yellow words, they know it's my video.
Yeah.
And that's maybe all together with everything, 10 minutes at the very most.
Oh my gosh!
But then I spend 3 hours replying to comments from that video every single day and every other comment I do. And that's
holy cow. Moto Blonde, she has a channel too. It's a really cool channel, by the way. Goals. She said goals. I'm like, yeah, me too. If my process, Moto Blonde.
I'll have to check out her videos.
Yeah, she has a Harley. She does a lot of her own work on it too, which is pretty cool. But she's a good one to watch. I'm keeping an eye on her. I'm like, she may not be just doing this as a hobby for much longer. But
Moto Blonde, send me an email of your favorite video, and I'll check it out.
All right, you hear that, Heather? He's calling you out. He wants to see
my website. It has all my information, or just Instagram me or something. I don't know. Anyway.
Yes, his email is. Do you want to say your email real fast?
What is my email? Go to my website. See which one I'm using. Fast Eddie MotoJitsu @gmail. All one word.
Yes. So I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's all right. I can just move on to the next question now. But oh yeah, the editing thing. So editing for me, if I can take a few hours, that's like lucky.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like oh my gosh, an hour would be amazing. But like my video for next Tuesday, it's my first dirt class. That one, I'm on about hour 12 now because it's only my second time trying to make, like, instead of just talking, I'm trying to make like kind of like a little episode, like a little TV show of it. And I'm brand new at it. I don't know what I'm doing, and it's a mess. I'm literally at like hour 12.
Wow.
But yeah,
so is dirt awesome? I recommend dirt.
It was so much fun. So much fun. It's addicting. Surprisingly, I only fell once in the first class. I thought I'd fall a lot more. But yeah, I only fell once, and it's so weird. It's kind of like learning 2 languages at the same time because the rules are different than on the street and on. So it's been weird, but I want to keep doing it for sure.
So ironically, yes, if you practice a lot of low speed technical stuff, right? You stay on top of the bike and the bike just moves underneath you. Low speed stuff, right? Counterbalance and everything. Ironically, that's extremely similar to what you do in the dirt. You stay on top of the bike and you lean the bike underneath you. It's almost it's very, very similar versus like straight dirt. There's a lot of things you learn from the dirt that are relevant for the street 100%. But when you're doing technical stuff, it's almost identical techniques for the dirt. And that's why 3 out of the 6 courses I recommend on my website are all dirt stuff. Super Camp, Moto Ventures, SoCal Supermoto. They're all dirt elements, but they teach you vastly different things in different ways on different bikes in different environments. But it's all relevant. It's all beneficial. So the more you can do, the better, for sure.
That is like perfect that you're saying that, because this is perfectly in line with the next question for you.
Okay.
So Les Lent 1 asked, is he planning on adding new drills to the MotoJitsu app, which are dirt bike specific?
I don't have plans to add dirt bike specific drills. However, I have done this so far, is do the MotoJitsu drills in the dirt. Go do white belt in the dirt. So I do my MotoJitsu drills one-handed. I stand up, I ride different bikes. I go through it as fast as I can. I go through it as slow as I can. the drills are like the foundation of the skyscraper, but what you do with them just goes beyond. Do all the drills on the cement, say white belt. Now you take the exact same drills and tennis balls cut in half, and now you go do the exact same things in the dirt field. It changes everything, but it's all the drills. So your creativity of what you want to do with them is up to you, and that's why I created it to like here's some drills, here's a beginner level information where you could here's some stuff to go do. What you do with those, or how you can modify them to do your own thing and make up a little course if you want to. But it's just a basic foundation to get people thinking of what you could go set up and practice. And then each individual drill you could go, like I said, stand up. Now do it one-handed. Now do it with the other hand. Now switch bikes. Now there's so many different ways you could practice one thing, and everything teaches you a different how to do it.
Do you want to tell everyone about your MotoJitsu app if they don't already know about it?
Sure. So a while ago, when I first came up with my first book, MotoJitsu, it just had the belt drills, white belt, blue belt, etc. And then someone's like, you should make an app. And I wasn't even nowhere near thinking that, because I didn't even think the first book would be like, I thought 5 people would buy it. And I was like, this is not going to be a thing at all. And then lo and behold, and then I got, more books, and then people are practicing more and people enjoy it. And finally, I just asked people randomly, I think last year on my Discord, hey, does anybody know anything about app building? Does anybody build an app? Does anybody know anything about this? And then my buddy messaged me. He's like, that my actual job is an app builder. I'm a black belt in app building. I'm like, dude, okay. So I met up with him. And, my app. And there you go. And then people wanted it. So just to have it on your phone, and there's demos and all the stuff right there available. You don't have to carry a book around with you. So that just came from people just asking me, can you please do this? But everything it's all about timing, right? So there you go. Barry, who just commented, he's the one who made my app, and it's freaking awesome.
Oh, cool.
It's really good. But and people love it, and I'm getting all kinds of feedback about it. And then anything that needs to happen or update or an idea I have, he'll like, okay, on the next version, when you just refresh the app, it'll be fixed, it'll be added, it'll be this. And it's been people all over the world have been commenting, emailing me like, oh, the app, and they're doing this and they're practicing. And that's the main thing. All my videos are irrelevant, worthless, unless you take the concepts and practice. It doesn't make a damn difference, right? Because my stuff is educational, you're not going to get any better watching all my videos at home. You just won't. You have to go apply the stuff. That's why my vest says shut up and practice. Not shut up and watch my videos, not shut up and read my book or buy my app. Nobody cares about that crap. Just go practice the stuff. That's what's going to make the difference. If without that, it's just thoughts, it's just ideas. It's not really relevant to anything to do with your riding. You have to go apply it. Otherwise, so what?
All right, cool. All right. So now the next question was from Jay Coyle. And Jay asked, any ideas for a video on what car drivers can do to be more aware of motorcyclists?
Interesting. Yeah, I bet you if I thought about that for 5 minutes, I can make a video about that for sure. I know one thing, we all probably realize it, being a motorcycle rider makes you a better car driver. And because of one thing, your awareness is elevated. You're just more aware. You're not just zoning out, going down the road on cruise control, paying more attention to your surroundings, which is beneficial to anybody driving any vehicle. The more aware you are, the better it is. And motorcycle riding definitely does that. But I could probably do a video about that. Let me write this down. That's a good idea. Okay. So probably this month I'll release that video.
Ooh. Jay Cole. I don't know if Jay's in the live watching the live right now, but he was one that commented on the community tab. So I'll let him know to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. So next question is Chopper Styles 510. How many falls do you have? And he said, awesome content, both of you. Thank you, Chopper.
It depends what you mean by falls. So I'll just start at the smallest level. Like in MotoJitsu, low speed technical term practice, I stopped counting of how many times I've dropped the bike, learning to do crazy stuff. Out on the street, one crash. And I have a video about me crashing the one time. On the track, I've crashed probably 4 times on the track. But most of the tip overs, I would say tip over is not really a crash, is parking lot practice when I first started to ride. When I had my big old GS and other bikes, just trying to figure out 'cause I took the courses, but not many were low speed technical courses about how to actually do this. So most of it was trial and error. And I'm not joking when I say this. I spent one time, it was the 4th of July, like 4 years ago. I just wanted to get really good at low speed stuff. I spent about 7 hours in a parking lot by myself on the 4th of July when everybody else is doing whatever, just practicing and trial and error. Let me see what this works out. One finger, two finger, move my body this way. Move. I just tipping the bike over, pick it back up, tip it back over. Okay, that didn't work. Let me try something new. Okay, that worked a little better, but let me try this. And that's just all I did for a long, long time just to figure that out. So through that process of, but in order for me to be able to do that, I had to accept I was going to make mistakes and expect them to happen. And that's okay, because a mistake is just another way to learn something. But if you're unwilling to even try, you're never going to go beyond the plateau. You know what I mean? Like, that's why you have crash cages and crash bars and stuff. The first thing I recommend to any bike, if you tip it over, the bike shouldn't touch the ground. It should hit some kind of protection to save the bike. And then you can have the confidence. At least if it tips over doing the MotoJitsu drill, it won't damage the bike too badly. It won't damage it at all. And then you will have a little bit of peace of mind to push yourself a little bit more to practice. But if you're unwilling to do that, you don't have crash bars, you're going to be very limited in what you're able to even practice or try to do, because you'll always be afraid of the bike, which is not the place to be in when you're trying to learn something new.
Yeah, that's where I think I'm actually still there. I have crash guards, but I haven't been able to find ones that are wide enough to completely keep my bike off the ground. But if I drop it, it'll, like, the handlebars are probably gonna get hit. But yeah, I've had
yeah. But even if you have like bar ends,
I do have bar ends. Yeah, you think that's fine then?
You're good. Yeah. So
it's emotional for me, I think.
I'll tell you now, because there's like the most people watching, like 180 people watching. So you're either fly out here or I'm gonna fly out there. But either way, we'll meet up and then do like a video together or whatever else. But the main thing is, I just want to do a one-on-one cornering session with you. Either I'll fly there and jump on your bike and I'll put you on the back of your own bike, what's possible, or you could come here and do the same thing. But we need to set sometime in the next couple months. I'll fly there, you fly there. Here.
Yeah, I want to do a training with you. I didn't want to announce it in case I failed, and I didn't want to tell YouTube that I failed. But I was like, I'm gonna go train with MotoJitsu, and then later I'm like, sorry, I had to leave, and I had to go. My flight came up, and then I didn't get the skills down yet.
And either
Shade Tree, thank you for the super chat, Shade Tree. You know that guy. I love that guy. I met him recently, and that guy is literally so lovable. Yeah, but anyway, sorry, back on topic.
Regardless of YouTube or not, or videos, who cares? Just for your own development and skill and everything else, we need to set that up to go practice some stuff, because it changes your perspective. Just like when I jumped on the back of the bike of Chris Paris at Champ School, obviously it's to a way lower level because we're on the street, but we'll set that up and go and do it. For sure.
Okay. Yeah, I want to. But unlike you, I didn't want to publicize it like you did just now. I wanted to keep it secret just because I was scared. But oh well, it's done.
But I won't be able to do that with you, because then we can make videos together and we could do whatever, and you could talk about your experience about it, and then you could.
I know.
It's like I'm just gonna give you a little taste of what's to expect when you take these PhD level courses, and how much depth there is to any one technique, and it's wild. You'll see. You'll see. That's all I can say.
That'd be pretty cool. It'd be, if I could. What I wonder is how long it would take me. You know, like because usually when I do things, I fail first, and then I keep trying, and then eventually I get it. So I wonder how many times.
Not long. So I went to Texas for a little fun 4-day little mini vacation. I met up with a couple people there, and this guy Casey, I was like, hey, just go right there in the parking lot, just start doing circles. That's all I want you to do. After 2 circles, I pulled him over. I gave him a couple feedback, do 2 more circles, do a couple things. And then within a very short period of time, with very specific feedback, he was getting way better very quickly. So it's not just, that's why finding a mentor is a really good thing to do. Find someone that's really good, that actually know what they're talking about, that they can watch you. Otherwise, you're just kind of spinning. You could be practicing the incorrect things over again and just creating bad habits. That's why
I'm wary about training by myself. Like So that's why I get wary about that.
You got to have the drive in you to put in the work and practice, and be willing to accept that you may not be perfect at it, which is fine. Nobody is. But with that drive combined with high level training of people that know what they're talking about, you add those two together and you practice it. That's the only thing that I did. I had no special ability. I was a terrible rider when I first started. I almost failed the beginner course as a student.
Really?
I was just unwilling to accept.
That makes me feel so much better about myself.
I was unwilling to accept this guy's just a person like me. Only thing he's done is just practice a lot longer than me. He's been around longer. Well, if I just practiced, I can do it too. I was unwilling to accept he's not special. He's just a guy just like me. Why can't I do it? And there is no reason. It's just my limiting mind said, oh, I'll never be able to do that. Well, yes, you can. You put in the work and you could do it. And that's what my whole MotoJitsu riding ability knowledge, it just came from, I could learn this stuff. Other people learned it. Why can't I learn it? I'm willing to put in the time. You can do whatever you want to do. And you can apply that to anything. You're a doctor, you work at McDonald's, you are a lawyer, whatever you want to do, just put in more work and practice at it and you'll get better like anything else. Right?
Yeah, and some people get better faster than others, but doesn't mean you're wherever you are, as long as you keep trying, you'll keep improving. Is how I
we're all
see
going
it.
the same direction, but people started the race earlier, and some people don't. It's okay. We're all going the same direction. There's no. The second you start to compare yourself with other people, that's where disappointment comes in. Like I'm so busy watering my own grass, I don't even know what's going on outside of my house. I could care less. I'm focused on me and my ability and what content I'm creating and how I could be beneficial and helpful to the world. Somebody else is doing, or if they have 5,000 more likes and views, I don't care. It doesn't mean any difference. It doesn't impact my goal of what I'm trying to do. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. Like when I get more than like 1,000 views on any one of my videos, I'm automatically astounded because I don't know 1,000 people. So I'm like, it's crazy. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But people, and here's the thing, since this is a big thing about my channel, and the people that know me, like Andy, she's commenting, and Wendy, and like her, still Steve, and all these other people that actually know me personally that live here. The thing I care about is having people learn better skills and crash less. I don't care at all about views, comments, likes. I could lose half my subscribers or my book or my app. It doesn't make a difference. The impact of what I'm doing to the riding community is the only one thing I care about. People are actually, no kidding, taking more courses. They're out buying better gear and wearing it, and they're out practicing. That's it. They're actually taking action to do something with the videos. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. In so much to where Superbike School, or no, Yamaha Champions Riding School, American Super Camp, SoCal Supermoto, and MotoVentures, they will give you a discount if you use MotoJitsu just to take the course, because I'm sending so many people there. They're like, dude, give you a discount. I don't get paid anything to say that. I don't get paid anything when they sign up. I don't care about anything. I just want people to get trained. And the amount of people that are actually getting trained is the only thing I care about. And that's my whole life goal. I don't care about anything else, nothing. I have a normal job being a motorcycle instructor. I don't care about money. It doesn't make a damn difference about anything. I just want to just do more stuff. And I eventually want to do this. So here's a goal. Why do I want to grow my channel? Because I'm going to start doing this. A lot of people can't afford a $2,000 Yamaha Champions Riding School. But you know what I do? I want to grow so I have more resources where I could buy 5 tickets to Champ School. I'm like, by the way, I have a hat. I'm not going to send you a helmet or a bike. I don't care about that crap. I'm going to send you, here's a code. You put in this code to Champ School and you got a $2,200 course for free for life. Whenever you're able to course, go. I'm going to buy tickets to these courses and just raffle them off to people, give them away to people, because that's what's going to be the biggest difference. Not a bike, not a helmet, not gear, not meeting me. All that stuff is irrelevant. Forget about my videos and my app. Is that's why I want to grow, so I could buy tickets to that and send people to the schools. That's it.
That's awesome. And there are a few more people here than when we started, so I want to give a little quick blurb. At the end of the live stream, I'm going to open it up for the questions from you guys. I'm just going through questions from Instagram and YouTube community, but this is MotoJitsu. He is a instructor previously before YouTube started and now on YouTube too. And he's someone that if you have any questions, he's extremely accessible, even though he's kind of a big deal. You can literally just message him on Instagram, message him on Twitter, email him. He's very quick to respond because his priority is us and people who send him comments and questions. Even more so than like editing videos, which is why he was saying earlier that editing his videos takes like 10 minutes because he wants to focus more on us asking him questions. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna keep going with the questions.
Okay.
Now the next question is from John Hawks, and he said, my aunt is around 5 foot tall and maybe 100 pounds, smaller than me, and is starting her MSF at 6 p.m. on the day of the live stream. Oh, that's Eastern maybe? I don't know. Are there any exercises or techniques that you have shorter, lightweight riders do to get more comfortable with bikes that aren't able to flat foot on both sides? Yes, you have a video on that.
Yes, I have a couple videos on short rider tips. However, in the beginner course, a lot of the bikes are very small and they're low to be able to, so the instructors or the coaches or whatever, they'll put her on the shortest seat bike, some kind of cruiser bike, like a older Rebel 250 with the seat is very low to put her in the best position to be comfortable to therefore try the techniques of what she's getting taught, right? It's going to be very unfortunate if they put on a taller bike and she's barely tipping toeing, because if you're not even confident to sit on the bike, you're not going to be confident to try anything. So hopefully she's on the lower seat bike. So when you're first starting to ride, probably one of the biggest things to do is, I say this to students, so I'm going to act like you're one of my students, okay? So this is what it's going to be. So all 200 people riding, you're now in the beginner class on a bike and I'm your instructor. I say this 4,000 times within the first couple hours of riding. The slower you move your hands, the more predictable the bike will be, the more confidence inspiring you'll have, and the bike will respond just as quickly as you move your hands. So as you're easing out the clutch, slow motion, like you're stuck in peanut butter or something. As you get back on the throttle, extremely slow. If you move your hands fast, the bike will respond just as fast, and you're not going to like the results. It's going to be non-confidence inspiring. It's going to freak you out, and you're not going to enjoy the experience. You're just going to become afraid of the bike. But the bike will never surprise you if you just move your hands 30 times slower than what you think. And you think you're going slow enough, go even slower. There'll be no issues if people move their hands slower. So I say all the time, slow hands, happy riders all day. That's the biggest thing that people get hung up with in the beginner course or any course. They try to hurry up and do something and they move their hands fast, they stall the bike. They grab the brake, they get too much throttle. So just moving your hands like you're in slow motion fixes so many issues. And that's the foundation for every single thing you learn. You can't learn anything quickly with fast, jerky movements. It's just going to make everything worse. Even at higher speed stuff on the track, you're still not doing anything aggressively, as in fast with your hands. Everything is still easily. So the fastest riders have the slowest hands. The best riders have the slowest hands, right? So that's probably the best thing I could say in a short thing about what to do. The main number one thing: move your hands slower, and now build the confidence to learn the new techniques, vision, counter steering, everything else. But without being very precise and slow with your movements, you won't even be comfortable enough to accept the new techniques, because you always be afraid. So that's probably the best thing that you can do.
Cool. All right. And now, next question is from Aidi Cherry. Will you be coming to the New York area in the future to possibly teach a course, or just a group ride? This goes for both of you. So
first, this December, I'm going to Hawaii for a week, like a little Christmas vacation. So when I go out there, I'll post up where I'm going to be, and then you could come and meet me like I just did in Texas.
Wait, did you just say Hawaii?
Yeah, just for a vacation. In December sometime. And then, so my birthday's this month, but next year in June, I think I'm going to take at least a week and go to New York. I've never been there before, but I want to spend at least a week there. And one of the days I'll post up where I'm going to be. If someone knows like an area where we can meet up at, a bunch of bikers can meet up at, and I'll bring my gear, and you could let me ride your bike, and we could play around. I could show you stuff and do like a little mini clinic, like in an area or whatever. But I'm going to go there, and I've never been to New York ever, not even flying through there.
Oh,
so I'm gonna spend
wow.
at least a week, if not more, just walking around and seeing everything. But I'll definitely make a day where I meet up with people. Anybody that's in the area, I'll let people know. I'll be there, come hang out, bring a book, I'll sign it, we'll do whatever we want to do, right?
Cool. Yeah. Oh, and I see Aidi in the live chat right now too, so they're watching as well.
Awesome.
I said they because I'm actually not sure where that name is from. I don't know if it's male or female, so sorry about that. And now Stoogie1 asked, what's both your thoughts? Oh, sorry, I forgot. Aidi, I said both of you. I wasn't currently planning on it, but now I'm thinking about it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, and now Stoogie1, what's both your thoughts on e-cycles?
So I have a video of me riding an electric bike. It's called the Energetica SS9, like a really top level, high performance, whatever bike. I like to shift. I like the sound of the motor and the clutch and the techniques involved with doing that. But just like cars are probably going to be I mean, Tesla and everything else. I mean, it's just, and the new Ford Lightning and all these electric cars and everything. That is probably going to be the future, like iRobot, where there's not even a steering wheel. You literally jump in, you press a destination, the car just goes. I think motorcycles will take longer to go down that path, but I still think
That freaks me out. I'm not doing that.
yeah, I still think there'll be bikes with just normal engines and everything because I still think there will be. It was interesting to ride the bike, and I rode my buddy Zero around as well for like an entire day, doing all kinds of riding everywhere. It's an interesting sensation.
It didn't die on you? Doesn't it die after like 150 miles or something?
Yeah, well, I mean, 150 miles of city streets, riding twisties.
Oh yeah, that'll take in the city.
I didn't just ride on highway or parking lot stuff. Like I went on my favorite twisty roads and came back and had enough miles or enough charge on it to do all that different things. So I got to do an experience with it.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, once you get going, cornering is the same because you're not shifting mid corner anyway. So it's really irrelevant. So it's like staying in fourth gear the whole time. I mean, you walk the throttle, you slow down, the brakes are the same, the trail braking is the same, the counter steering is everything's the same when you're going at speed anyway. The only thing that is different, of course, is just not shifting to get there. So a lot of the ways it's easier because less crap to think about. But in other ways, I think it's I feel like I lose the experience of riding because I'm not physically doing the stuff. But I don't know, it's just very, very slight differences. But if all the bikes go electric, it won't really make a difference to me because the actual experience of what you feel while riding is identical. It's just like staying in one gear the whole time. It's okay. But everybody figure out the problem. Make the battery last longer or charge it faster. And whoever does that the best will win. You see what I'm saying?
And I've never ridden an electric bike, so I can't say. I definitely want to though, and I don't know that I'd be missing much because for me, the fun part of riding isn't the gear shifting; it's the leaning in curves at higher speeds. Not that I can like drag me or anything, but enough to have fun. And shade tree.
It won't be any difference because lean is lean, counter steering is counter steering, electric like makes still
cool. Yeah, I'd love to try one for sure.
Yeah, maybe Zero will you and send you a bike you could go ride around for a week or something. If you're listening, Zero, whatever, maybe Zero Motorcycles or somebody will send you one.
I should just message them actually. I mean, yeah, message them on Instagram. See, that works sometimes. You'd be surprised. Shade Tree Surgeon. At least the bike I saw him on last, it's a huge old cruiser, but he says he's ridden electric bikes and that he loves them. And
I know my buddy's 2020 or 2019, whatever. It was a Goldwing, so it's a big scooter on wheels, like 1800 cc, no clutch. And I rolled that around, so it's just like throttle control and rear brake. But you rode it down on your go. It's just you're just not shifting. So everything is identical except for the shifting part. But then we could go deeper involved with this, especially at higher speeds. You start to use the downshifting with the engine braking to start slowing you down, and you start to trail clutch and blah, blah, blah. But without all that stuff, you're just kind of throttle control, throttle and brakes. But you're just losing it, which is probably okay for street riding because you don't have to worry about shifting. But at a different level, it might be beneficial or people, it's just preference really. There's no real right, wrong. Almost everything is preference. There's no right, wrong of a lot of stuff. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, cool. I just realized we're about halfway through the like social media questions and 2 minutes away from when I told the live chat I'd open it up to them. So what I think I'm going to do rapid fire questions. So I'm not going to respond to you as soon as you finish answering. I'm going to ask the next question and then I'll open it up to the live chat. How does that sound?
I'll answer as quickly as I can.
All right. And if you don't want to, like if you are inspired to talk more about something, then feel free.
You know, I could talk forever about one thing. It just
I know you're a good talker. That's probably why your video editing process is so easy because you can just talk and flow. For me, people have asked me, why are there so many cuts? And I'm like, I say and I pause and I think a lot. I'm not used to talking for like 8 minutes straight.
Here's something that's not relevant, but it is relevant, and maybe people will be interested in it. So my bachelor's is psychology, my master's is human behavior. I took a tremendous amount of courses on public speaking. I was a drill instructor for 119-year-olds giving presentations to people. Like right now, to me, it sounds like I'm talking very slow, like super slow motion. However, to the audience, it sounds better. So if you make an effort or and just comes into play when you're thinking faster than you could talk. So if you slow your speech rate down, you have more, and you use pauses more effectively, you have more time to think about what you want to say, and you don't have to fill in the gaps with the because that just comes from too much words too quickly. So you overall it'll sound better to the audience because you're speaking slower, just in case someone's like half of my subscribers are not in the United States, and some people barely speak English, but a lot of them, they could still understand my videos because I reduced the rate of which I'm speaking, so give people more time to digest and understand what I'm saying, and that'll make a difference of fewer cuts because you won't have to keep on messing up what you're trying to say because the words will come naturally when you're not trying to speak too quickly. But to me right now, this sounds like I'm speaking super slow motion, but to you, it probably sounds like you understand. But
Yeah, it's just normal.
to me, if I'm talking normally, I talk way faster. But if I'm trying to explain something, then I don't want it to be drowned down by ums or uhs. So I just lower the speed down and use pauses more effectively. It's okay to be silent, and that lets people digest what you're saying and give people time to process before you add another layer to it. Anyway.
Whoa, cool. That's smart. You're a good instructor in other areas besides just riding too.
Instructor, swimming instructor, drill instructor. I've been teaching people.
Oh, I'm seeing a pattern in your life.
I love teaching, and I could teach anybody anything. I don't care what the content is. But once I learned motorcycling, because I already love to teach, it's very easy for me to make a video 30 minutes long where I just do no edit, no cut. I just hit record and just start speaking for 30 minutes straight because I've already learned how to teach. That's relevant. You see what I'm saying? I was just teaching my buddy and my friend's son skateboarding in Texas. I haven't skateboarded in 15 years, but I used to be really good at skateboarding. But since I learned how to teach through the military and my education and everything else, I was teaching him how to do kick flips and ollies and whatever else in a way that he could understand for his level of skill and understanding. But the teaching is the same. What I'm teaching, it doesn't make a difference. Like I could teach you how to rock climb in the same ways I could teach you how to ride a motorcycle because I just learned how to do that. And that's what I like most about my channel. I don't have to warm up. I don't have to write down notes. Just hit record. I'll figure it out.
Cool. Okay. Next question. This is my rapid fire style. Luis Loma. Question. I bought a Harley Davidson without asking my wife. Almost caused a divorce. Was in the doghouse for a couple weeks. Oh, that was a year ago. Now I'm thinking about getting an adventure bike. Should I get one? What do you think, MJ?
Quick answer is yes. Do what you want. It's your life. You may not wake up tomorrow, and a lot of people are dead today that thought they're going to be alive. So you might as well not waste the time you have because no one's guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. So I would say buy what you want. Obviously, if you're going into debt or creating a situation where it's just bad and it's affecting your daily life, that's where it becomes a problem when it starts to affect your life, like the decisions you make. But if it doesn't affect anything, you could afford it. You may not wake up tomorrow. Do what you want.
And I'm not going to answer that. I'm scared. I don't want to get sued for someone's divorce. Pizza Bot. Is it true that you are in an open relationship?
Pizza
Should I
Bot?
ask that?
Are you asking me?
I think so, because it was where I said, lay your questions here for MJ.
Oh. Am I in an open relationship? No.
Okay. All right. Next question. Just Kel. Well, I wonder why they thought that. Just Kel. How many close calls moments y'all had in traffic? I can answer that quickly. None.
So when I started riding a lot, because I got my license, I started riding immediately on the highway, 45 minutes to Camp Pendleton, where I was still in the Marines and coming back and forth, lane splitting like the day after I bought my first bike because I'm an idiot, right? I had a lot of close calls because I would place myself in silly situations. I would ride in people's blind spots. I'd go way too fast for my skill. I wouldn't understand line selection, how to be smart. Once I learned better techniques, lo and behold, surprise, the incidents went down to almost zero because I was blaming the other cars. This guy cut me off, this guy did this, and I was blaming everybody else. And when people are that, the problem is the guy in the mirror. It's not the other cars. You're making stupid decisions and placing yourself in high risk scenarios. You have better judgment. It's always judgment before skill, right? So you place yourself in better situations, the incidents just don't happen as much. So the last time I actually had, oh my God, like freaked myself out, like not and actually stop was just maybe once in the last 2 years. But when I first started riding, almost every day, because I would just do things that are very dumb. But it wasn't the car's fault. It was my inability, lack of judgment, lack of skill, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been riding like that pretty much as from the start, just like being overly cautious, and I think that's why it's the case for me. I haven't had a close call. Although my husband would disagree. He said that part of why he stopped riding was because when we would ride together and he was behind me, he said that he saw people veering into my lane and his road rage was just too extreme. He was like, I wasn't enjoying it. It was, yeah. But I didn't notice, but I do now. I have noticed some people mentioned in my videos that actually my lane position was like closer to the shoulder, which is like harder for visibility. So, and then plus that's something I learned more recently in the MSF course than when I retook it was, lane positioning in number 1, closer to the center lane. You're going to be more visible and less likely to have someone veering into your lane there. So now I mind my lane position. That's another thing I do.
Like a 2-lane road, there's cars parked on either side. I ride towards the middle of the lane. That way, if a car door opens up, I don't have to do anything, right? But if I'm in the highway in the fast lane, I'm in the far right portion, so I can see in between cars, and my lane is protected versus hiding all the way over to the left. So depends on the situation you're in, the line selection. There's no best line selection. It all depends on the scenario. If it's windy and dry, I ride in the middle of the lane. So if I get blown around a little bit, no big deal. If it's rain, I never ride in the middle of the lane because that's where the oil is. I ride in the tracks of the vehicle in front of me. So your lane selection depends on the situation, the pace you're going, right? There's so many variables. It's not like one black and white thing. That's why my answer to so many things, it depends, because what pace are you going? What's the conditions like? What these things matter.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. That's my husband, Cody Aaron. He's very supportive. All right. I'm opening it up to the live stream questions. So I've been taking screenshots when y'all have been writing questions in the chat. So I'm going to start with those screenshots. All right. And then we've got 8 minutes until I told you we'd be done. And are you okay if we go over a little bit? I know you said at least 30 minutes. You can't go past that.
I'm good for 45 more minutes.
Okay.
If you need to go that far.
All right. So if I go further, I'll make sure it stops there. Now I'm going to start with the live chat screenshots, questions I took pictures of. Oh, crap. And now I'm getting more. So hold on, people. Okay, so Prashant Vasudevan asked, have you ridden a Vespa Primavera 150 on the highway? I'm a very new rider.
I don't think so, because what's legally allowed is what's legally allowed on the highways in California, 150 or maybe 250 is the minimum. So if it's less, I don't remember what it is. If it's less than CCs, you can't even highway legally. They won't fast enough to go highway speeds. So scooters and stuff I've ridden, like Vespas and whatnot, it's just been city streets because they're not allowed to go on the highway.
All right, and I have not either. Ansel Hers asked, for those who work a day job or have kids, we think of motorcycling as our escape or chance to blow off steam. What should the ratio of riding for fun versus practicing be?
It's only fun when you know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's terrifying. So you do this to escape and have fun, but it's so dangerous. Riding a motorcycle is like 28 times more dangerous than driving a car. So it's fun, yes, but you still have to put in the time to learn what you're doing. Otherwise, you could get yourself hurt and killed very, very easily. So have fun, and it becomes funner the better you get. The more you get, the better knowledge you have. It becomes funner because you're less worried about technique, what to do, how to do it, what if this happens. It's not like you don't care, but you're prepared because of the time you put in. So if you're just ride for fun with your buddies on the weekend, you have kids and a job and everything else, love it. Awesome. A lot of people are in that scenario. Just make sure you spend a little bit of time, not so much, you spend a little bit of time, especially learning how to brake. That's probably number one thing you could do. Spend a little bit of time to know to learn how to control the bike. So therefore, if something happens, you could go back to your family, right?
Yeah. And to me, practice is fun. I guess it's not, actually, you know what? It's not fun when I'm struggling, but it is fun once I finally get what I was struggling for.
After you get up, you'll see struggling is the fun part. I love putting myself in situations where the bike's about to fall. I know what I'm doing, it's very difficult. That's when I feel the most alive, because it's challenging. I love to be challenged. I love a new challenge. That's why I keep on taking these courses with people that are so far much more knowledgeable and better than me, because I love the challenge of it. But you'll see, but practice and courses, whatever else, if you're just riding on the weekends and you have family and everything else, if you have time to watch 3 hours of Netflix a day, you have time to go practice emergency braking. Not making excuses. Right.
And you know what? I think if you don't want to commit to like a whole day class very frequently, I met someone in one of my classes recently. I haven't put the video up yet, and I think maybe in a month. But what he does, and he was one of the best in class, what he does is only 10 minutes once a week, but every week he'll practice U-turns in a parking lot. And he's a new rider. I think he only started riding this year, but he caught on to the skills the fastest. And I'm sure it's because of that. Because that's all he did is just once a week, a little quick practice, parking lot practice.
So this is what I say. If you practice playing the piano for 5 minutes a day, you'll be good in a month. You'll be better than if you only practice that song for 5 minutes once a week, right? The more you do something, the better you get. I never heard anybody dying doing a U-turn in a parking lot. I always hear people dying because they can't stop their bike. So if you do anything 30 minutes once a week, if you do anything, emergency braking, threshold braking, how fast can you stop your bike is the #1 most important thing out of any skill you could possibly do. How can you stop your bike? And you get comfortable with the brakes? Because here's the thing, you would never have the confidence to go faster if you cannot stop fast. Why would you go fast if you can't stop fast? It's insanity. Got to learn the brakes. Low speed MotoJitsu stuff, it's extremely fun. It's very, very confidence inspiring. It gets you comfortable with you and your bike. It breaks over plateaus of leaning and everything else. But it's secondary to the 2 most important things, swerving and emergency braking. Those things, if you're going to do anything once a week, learn to stop your bike as fast as you can at various speeds and learn how to get the heck out of the way in case something happens. And both those things will secondary, just by default, get you more confidence with your bike, and a lot of things will improve because of it. So same thing with MotoJitsu, but you got to learn how to stop and you got to learn how to get the heck out of the way. But of course, like I said, not putting yourself in those situations in the first place is always better. How do you go over the 2x4? You don't. You just go around it. You use your judgment before your skill. But you got to have the skill. You can't only have one side of the coin. You have to have both. You have to have a good judgment and the skill. You got to have both. Otherwise, you're limiting. You're limiting yourself and you're increasing your risk.
All right. Next question. Rod in Toulouse. Was Layla always into bikes, or did you convert her? My wife doesn't like my bike. Oh.
No, so I actually met her in the course. In the course I was teaching. And she asked me to help her pick out motorcycle gear. So we went to Cycle Gear and helped pick out gear, so she didn't want to get ripped off or just sold a bunch of crap she doesn't need. But she was into bikes, got into bikes, had a couple bikes, but she got into an accident, and then she knew all my buddies who also crashed before that are way better riders. And she's taken almost every class you can imagine as well, but she didn't have the actual miles on bike practice to be comfortable enough to ride. And then after her accident, she just got too afraid, and she knew, very smart decision, she knew she wasn't going to practice enough to gain enough confidence to be out on the public roads. So she was just going to limit herself to taking courses or kind of like parking lot stuff just for fun. But then she decided to give that up. But she still has all her gear. She rides with me. And now that I have Skittles, my little 300cc track bike, if we go to the track together, she rides it because it's at a track. And she already has, but she rides the bike on the back a lot. And I have a couple videos with her. One of the videos about how to ride with passengers. She has a clip about her perspective of riding as a passenger, what she does. Think about.
Nice. Oh, that's good. People have asked me that, and I'm like, I have no clue. I don't have passengers, so I'll direct them to that video.
Yes, and so she said to me, the first time she's ever said this, we've been together, I don't know how many years, 6 years, something. She was like, hey, I got to chat with you about that. It's like important. I was like, oh man, what happened? She was like, I'm not spending enough time practicing, and I don't think I want to continue to ride anymore. But she thought I was going to be upset because my whole life is riding and helping people not crash and have more fun. But that's like a student saying, I don't think this is for me. I want to take myself out of the class and go home. We congratulate those students for making a smart decision, because it's better to learn. You don't want to ride or like to ride in a safe, enclosed environment with instructors versus realizing the mistakes of that, crashing out on the public roads and get yourself seriously hurt. I was like, if you don't want to ride, don't ride. It's perfectly fine. I'm not upset if you want to sell your bike and all your gear and never ride again. Do what you want to do. He said, but that's a good decision to make, and it's very mature to do that versus you don't just keep on trying it. But if your heart's not in it and you know you're not going to practice, maybe it isn't the best thing for you. And because it's so serious anyway, you don't have to push your luck. But I'm not going to be upset. Don't ride. That's perfectly. So she sold her bike. She has her gear to ride with me, but she doesn't actually ride it because she knew She was not going to put in the time to be confident enough and competent enough to keep herself safe on the public roads. So,
yeah, I will never fault anyone for deciding not to ride. That's for sure. I mean, I'm currently married to someone who decided that, and you know what? I'm still with him.
It's probably one less crash, injury, and fatality on the public road.
Yeah. My thoughts exactly. I thought, you know what? If this is like a guardian's angel way of keeping him alive, I'm okay with that. But all right. So Storm asked, what's the best way to transition to a bigger bike?
Borrow one first. Well, first get really good on your bike. That's always the answer, because the bike doesn't matter once you get your skills high enough. And I try to say that a bunch. So on your own bike, whatever that guy questioned that asked, whatever is on your bike, be able to do brown belt in my MotoJitsu drills on your bike. If you could do brown belt like consistently, you're pretty good. That's pretty good. You could jump on a little bit heavier bike and you won't struggle too much. But if you're just a white belt, like literally in knowledge and skill, and your actual skills are only white belt, and you jump up too quickly, you're going to be overwhelmed by the power and the weight. So I don't recommend it. But like grow where you're planted. If you have a little grom, become amazing on that grom. And then when you do jump up to a little bit better bike, you at least have the foundation of the skill and the knowledge and the repetition, the experience, that it won't bother you so much. You won't be overwhelmed by it. But going too big too quickly is one of the biggest mistakes riders make in general. I have a video about when to upgrade to a bigger bike, and that's exactly what I say. If you're not a brown belt already, you're not good enough, and you're just going to create more problems. It's going to be another obstacle you have to go over, because now it's a bigger, heavier, more powerful bike. It's unforgiving. It's less able to hide your mistakes, and you'll just get yourself in trouble and that much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, like I have a video reviewing the Indian FTR 1200. That's probably the fastest bike I've ever ridden, and I didn't put that faster than 85 miles an hour. Never. Like that whole day that I had it, because I'm not used to that. I ride a 675. My first day. I mean, if I had it for a couple more weeks, I would have in the safe track. But yeah, I'm not. I just, just don't ride more than your skill level. That's for sure.
Yes, and that's why I like your videos, because you're open and honest, and you're smart. You make good decisions, and you're gonna be around a long time. Because my whole goal is to make old motorcyclists. And the only way to be an old motorcyclist is to know what the hell you're doing. Of your skill and
I like that. Yes. We want to be little old ladies and men on still riding.
Yes, that's the goal.
Yes. All right. Now, Aidi Cherry, back for another question, asked MotoJitsu about his My Ignorance podcast, please. All right. Tell us about your podcast.
When I was in the Marines, I was flying around everywhere, deploying everything else. I sat next to this doctor, like a general physician, right? And I was like, hey man, how you doing? You sit next to people in the plane, you kind of do your niceties and just kind of, hi, how are you? Good, I'm fine. And I was like, he was like, hey, what do you do, young man? I was like, because my military haircut, and I was like, oh, I'm in the Marines. I'm back home on leave and whatnot. I was like, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a doctor. I'm like, I hope you have nothing planned for the next 3 hours, because I have about 4 million questions for you. I was like, you're like Dr. House. He's like, oh, not really, but I'm a doctor. I'm just extremely curious. So my formal education is psychology, and I have a second master's in forensic science just because it's for fun. I like to learn stuff. But I'm just as interested in physics, astronomy, philosophy, anything you think of. And I've been like that with anybody that's good at anything. I like asking questions because I don't know anything. That's why the podcast is called My Ignorance. I know about this much. I know a little bit about it, but I'm fascinated by everything. If you're a violinist, I would want to talk to you on my podcast, and you could be 5 years old. I don't even know how to hold a violin, let alone play it. So I was like, well, why don't I just talk to different people that are black belts? So if anybody listening that's really good at their job, I don't care what it is. You're a cop, you're a lawyer, you're a carpenter, you're a plumber. I would love to have you on my podcast. I'm just so interested in so many different things. And people always say it's like your little kid. I am. I never changed the way I feel inside. My whole life, I feel the same. I'm just extremely curious about everything. Interview people for fun that are just cool. Like I had Michael Williams on. He's Justin Bieber's professional dancer. I had lawyers on, and everybody, just anybody that's good at anything that would want to come on and just have me ask them a bunch of random questions. There's no notes. I don't research who the person is. I'm just curious, and it just flows naturally. I just like that for fun because, and then I did my friend Erica. She's a home loan expert. And now a whole bunch of people reached out to her to like, okay, how do I get the loan? What's the mortgage? But all this stuff I didn't know about, but she's helping them buy a home for the first time and not to get like she's a black belt, so she really knows that she's talking.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy, he's a divorce lawyer, and I talked to him on the podcast about all this type of stuff. People don't know about marriage and doing all this stuff. So it's just my own curiosity, and maybe it could help somebody understand different things, or at least give a reason to reach out to open up the field of maybe they're looking into getting, maybe divorced, or maybe they want to buy a new home or sell their home, and that these people could help point them in the right direction. You see what I'm saying?
Cool. All right. And then before I move on to the next question, I want to shout out Britt Brapp in the live chat real fast. She's gonna be in my next video on Tuesday, my first dirt class, but actually that was technically my second dirt class at the end. And she's a big proponent on education and furthering your skills. And even though she broke her back recently, like we just did a dirt class together, and she was telling the instructor, I just want to give you a heads up. I have to step out so I can take ibuprofen every few hours. It's just ibuprofen. I just broke my back.
I think I talked to her on Instagram already.
She was a fan of yours too, so you might have for sure.
Here's something. Why do I want to grow my channel? Because to help people become better riders and crash less. There's going to be a point where I'm like, hey, all of you guys, everybody you're mentioning right now, all these people on your chat, we're all going to like super camp together, and I'll pay for all of it. Like, just get there. Like, let's go. And I'm like, I'm going to get 10 seats, and they're all going to be YouTube, whatever, all of us. Like, let's just all go to the course together, because that's the best thing I could do is get people to formal training. And then you'll meet people like Cam Peterson, who's a Moto America super bike racer right now. Jake Gagne, who just won 3 out of the last 4 races right now. Like, these are current professional racers on 10 horsepower TTR 125 sliding sideways into the dirt. It's so much fun. Like, we'll set it up. We all got to go.
Whoa. All right. David Farley asked, how's the chin with that new helmet, Ed? Your new modular helmet. Yeah.
It is wonderful, especially because I would spend so much time practicing with people, not having to pull down my helmet and scream at them to make them understand. I could just lift it up and talk, but still go right back to practicing without taking off my helmet. It's been awesome. For what I'm doing, it's absolutely perfect. And it's so comfortable. Look, it's made.
Do you wear it on the track too, or just for your slow speed skills classes?
Just street. I have other helmet. I have another helmet for dirt only. I dual stuff, and then another helmet for track stuff. And those are both 6D helmets, but this one is just for the street stuff.
All right, cool. Crazy Rebel asks, what's it like doing something you love for a living?
There is no word. It's the best thing because I wake up every day, I'm like, I'm surprised that this is my life, where I do anything I want to all day. And like next month, July, I took the whole month off, so I'm not actually teaching. So somehow, for whatever reason, YouTube and Patreon, my books and everything, just I could pay my bills with it, where I don't have to work. I still put in obviously a tremendous amount of time practicing, meeting up with people, replying to people, but it's not a job. If it ever feels like this is a job, I'll probably stop doing it. But I love doing this, and I've been doing it for 4 years before I made one YouTube video. So I've already been doing it, but now I just could reach more people. It's like the umbrella of influence just grew once I went onto social media, where I could reach more people. I never would have made the possibility of doing that before. Instead of just 12 students in front of me in person, now I make a video and anybody can watch it, and people get the same knowledge or perspective or whatever else it is. So it's awesome. It's overwhelming at times, that the amount of, because I get emails saying I never wore a full face helmet in my life. I just watched a bunch of your videos. I bought it for the first time in my life. I'm not going to buy the exhaust. I just signed up for champ school, and I'm going next week. Instead of saving the money for that, I just signed up for a course, and that's the biggest thing it's overwhelming.
Wow. Oh gosh, that scares me. Yeah, I just read recently that 45% of head injuries on a motorcycle accident are done to the face and chin. So if you're riding without all that covered, you're scaring me.
It's not just one impact. You're probably gonna roll. It's gonna be multiple things, right?
All right. Rick Vander Lee asked, does forgetting to put the kickstand down count? Probably as like a fall, I guess. I'm not sure what that would have been. Sure, I guess.
It's a lesson learned that we all go through. I've done that a bunch of times.
A bunch? Really? You know where I fall in a bunch is putting 2 feet down on a bike that was too tall for me. That's when I've fallen a lot. But yeah, now that I've learned about just putting 1 foot down, that's it. It's made me a lot less clumsy. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Agent Smith. Oh, that's for me. Doodle, would you stop riding if you became a mother? I would stop riding if I was pregnant because I wouldn't want to like risk a baby's life. But if I became a mother, I don't think so. And I watch people like Whit Mesa, who's a mom, and oh shoot, I forgot the name right now of another mom I watch. But Jackie's Moto Garage, and there are some inspiring women. Plus, kids are exhausting. If I have kids, I'm gonna need a break from them sometimes, and a bike sounds like a great bike, a great break.
Yes.
All right. Okay, now there were some more questions that came in on the live stream that I took some screenshots of, and you're still good, right? You said so. Like we're at like.
I'm good for at least 40 minutes.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So, Pensi It Aki Den. What is your favorite rock band?
I can't remember a bunch of them, but the first thing that popped in my mind is Metallica because I was just listening to a bunch of songs. But
whoa, you're hardcore.
I don't know rock bands, but I like various songs by various people. So I'm very eclectic in that way. Like I like country and I like Marilyn Manson and I like everything in between. I like everything. I don't.
Oh, that's very eclectic.
Everything. I like dance music and I like all kinds of music, but rock bands. Now I just thought about Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, Metallica, Queen, older like 80s music and 90s music. I like everything. I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I like everything. Everything is my favorite. Everything outside is my favorite.
Which goes with like what you were talking about your podcast, just like you're interested in all the stuff.
Yes.
For me, I don't have one. I actually don't listen to music much. I love the silence, and if I do listen to music, it's usually something like I don't know, like meditation music or what literally white noise or Israeli folk music.
On my TV right here behind me or on my thing. So you go to Pandora and type in RJD like David 2. It's a station on Pandora. It's awesome. I listen to that when I'm cleaning, when I'm doing whatever, cleaning the bike or fixing something. It's a really good station. Or
wait, was that RJ what?
Romeo Juliet Delta the number 2 RJD2.
RJD2.
Or Chill Loungers Radio on Pandora. Chill Loungers Radio is another good station. I listen to both those things all the time. It's great.
Sean Innes said we'd make his day if we say killing joke.
What does that mean? Killing joke?
I don't know. I just said it because I wanted to make his day.
There you go. I said it too.
Paul said, hey, Cody Aaron, we need to get you on camera with Carolyn. Stay tuned next Tuesday. Dirt bike class video. Daisy Deva Evu. Which gear should I use for slow U-turn in Harley Lowrider?
Well, the bike doesn't matter what gear you have. Always wear good gear. Just.
Oh wait, I think she means. Oh, actually, I'm not sure what she means. I'm not sure if that means gear or gear on the bike.
If you're going less than 10 miles per hour, you're in first. That's probably less than, actually, if you're doing low speed technical stuff, if you're going less than 15, first gear, which is most U-turn low speed stuff. All of my MotoJitsu drills are pretty much first gear, every single one. You could do every single drill in first gear. That's what I do. That's what I practice at. Yeah, probably first gear.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the kind of gear she meant because she did say slow U-turn. Probably doesn't matter.
First for sure.
Yes. Shade Tree Surgeon asks, how do you feel about building a motorcycle to be as uncomfortable and hard to ride on purpose and then riding it as far as possible? I think that's basically what he did, if not intentionally, when he did I think it might have been last summer actually when I saw it, but he rode up north and stopped at her Two Wheels place in Ohio.
Well,
that's why I say that.
My first thought was, I'm not a masochist, so I'm not doing that. I don't enjoy and that sounds exactly like me
neither. I don't want to do that. I like to be comfortable and coddled.
Yeah. And that's the thing about motorcycles, that it's so individual because what's comfortable for you, we could be the same size, height, weight, everything. you could jump on this bike, I could jump on the exact bike, and we're identical in physical size. One could be extremely comfortable, one could be horrible, but we're the same person on the same bike.
Yeah.
So it's individual.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like, I love that bike. I'm like, man, I rode that bike and it felt horrible to me. It was like a football bat on a soccer field. It was just bizarre. But this guy loved it. I was like, well, if it works for you, then it works for you. Everybody's different.
Yeah. 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 That's how I feel about any sport bikes. Not naked bikes, but sport bikes with fairings and leaning forward, leaning on the tank. I feel so weird on that. I don't ride them.
If I ride a real sport bike for more than 15 minutes, my back is screaming at me and my wrist.
All right. Blue Jeans Forever 89. MJ, how long did it take you to get good at rev matching when downshifting? I've been practicing for a week and it's not very smooth yet.
If I learned how to play Fur Elise on the piano, how good would I be in a week? It takes more time.
If everyone's wondering what that was.
Where will you be in 6 months of practicing? Same thing. The more time you put into it, the better you'll get with focused practice of what you're doing. I learned how to do it in a course, Total Control Advanced Riding Clinic Level 2, and I did it everywhere, like every single stop sign of every single light. I just did it for fun to learn the timing of it. But that's not something you learn once and like you learn it and you're done. It's not like that at all. It's every time you do it, it's another opportunity to practice it because it's all about the timing. Like, oh, that was too much throttle, too much brake. Okay, I didn't pull the clutch in far enough. It probably out of 10 times, I might do it 50% pretty good. But it's a constant practice. And I don't do it enough or hardly now at all, unless I'm just kind of playing around. I feel like doing it, but I don't really do it anymore on the track or the street because of a whole bunch of different things I've learned. That was deeper level knowledge about it all. But if I were to practice some more, I could get better at it like anything. I'm sure he'll be the same way.
And I don't know how to do it. I've never even tried. Another question was, Shade Tree Surgeon, any interest in dirt racing? Hare scrambles. Hell yeah, I'm interested in. Oh, wait, dirt racing is different than dirt riding. I don't know. What about you?
I have no interest to race at all. So even when I go to schools or anything else, and I talk to people at like American Super Camp or Champ School or anybody, if I have a track to myself, I will have the fastest lap alone, right? We'll need people to follow to like build the competition to try to beat them and go faster. My competition is me. So when I go the fastest, I'm alone on the track or I'm first in line at the track. You see what I'm saying? But I don't have that competition to like race and like compete.
Yeah.
I'm competing. Only thing I compete against is me. That's why I don't care if someone on the track is 14 seconds faster than me. What do I care? I'm a half second faster than my previous lap. I'm satisfied. I don't care what you're doing. It's relevant to me. There's so many people far faster, way better track riders than me, and that's fine. They're farther down the finish line than me. They're closer to it. I'm back as a track rider. They're up here. Of course, they're going to be quicker, but I don't compare because everybody has to start somewhere. I just started later, and they started when they were 7. Of course.
Yeah. Plus, I think I've done one track day a few years ago, and I mean I was the slowest one on the track. People were lapping me more than once, and I couldn't care less because that's not what I was there for. I was there to learn body positioning and lane positioning, not to be faster than this guy with an alpha complex on his Ducati, and that was his first bike. Like,
did you see my little 300cc track bike Skittles? And I went to the track, and I'm going to the outside of these 1,000cc, $30,000 Ducatis in the middle of a corner. I'm going to the outside around them, and because the bike doesn't matter. Do you know how to ride it? You don't know how to. It doesn't matter. A $30,000 bike when you don't know how to ride it. Better to buy a $10,000 bike and spend that other 20 grand that you just saved on Champ School and Superbank and all these other crazy, amazing high level courses to actually learn to ride the thing, because the bike isn't the limiting factor, I promise.
All right. Rob Peters asked, what do you do if a goose runs in front of your motorcycle?
A goose or ghost?
A goose.
A goose?
Yeah, but if you want to answer both, feel free.
Slow down as much as I can and then swerve to avoid it, or swerve. Do everything I can to not hit it. And if I do have to hit it, get the bike upright as much as you can so the suspension can work better if you do have to hit it. I actually made those 2 videos about how to go over an obstacle and how to go over an obstacle mid-turn. So don't hit it is the number one thing. Brake and swerve first. But if you have to, get the bike up there first.
All right. Lydia called out MotoJitsu specifically. How do you feel about the skills you learn in the MSG versus the skills you have learned during the European motorcycle license? Did you understand that?
Not really, but I didn't learn anything in other motorcycle licensing because I never did it. I don't even know. I don't really understand. But if I think I understand the question, what did I learn in different licensing testing or evaluations? Nothing, because I've never taken it. And it's funny because I started saying a lot more to people. People think I'm being an a-hole or something else. What do you think about this bike? Like during live, what do you think about this type of bike? What do you think about this? My answer is I don't have an opinion. One, I never wrote it, and I never thought about it enough to really have an opinion where I calculate it. So
yeah,
we don't have to be in a world where you have to have an opinion about something. Sometimes saying I didn't think about it enough to have an opinion on that bike. Plus, I wrote it. I don't know. I don't have. I have no.
All right. And Andre Lobo asked, how do you get the confidence to lean more into corners?
So the answer is going to be shocking. It's a big secret. Are you ready? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm hearing sarcasm.
Yeah. High level courses and practice. And you have to be willing, find an environment. And like I was saying about the U-turn stuff before, you have to be willing to slowly increase your speed. Because if you go around the same corner at 30 miles per hour, the bike will lean this much, right? If you take the same corner at 35 miles per hour, the bike must lean a little bit more because you're taking the same corner at a faster pace, right? So you slowly add a little bit more speed to see what that feels like. But to get comfortable with the extreme amounts of lean, that's where MotoJitsu is super beneficial. Like I tell people on whatever bike you have, do some circles and figure eights, try to get your floor or your foot pegs on the ground. Just see what it feels like to have extreme lean on the bike. And of course, you're going 10 miles per hour, or whatever, doing that. Well, how does it relate to going 60 on the public roads on a twisty mountain road? You get used to the feeling of a lot of lean. Therefore, when you start to lean a little bit, like, okay, I'm going faster, I'm leaning a little bit. At least I'm used to, it's not so unfamiliar that I have no idea what this amount of lean feels like or what it, you know what I mean? But you can start to baby step your way into it. Just like doing pull-ups is helpful to rock climb because it builds your strength and it's just it's like cross training type of thing, right? MotoJitsu stuff, low speed techniques, have an extreme amount of lean angle and practicing in the environment is a roundabout way to help you on the public roads. Because what I do in the parking lot in practice, like you're gonna see today when I make the video, the crazy stuff that I do when I practice, it makes the street easy. The amount of risk I take at courses and at track days are extreme compared to what I do on the street. What I do on the street is so minimal because it's not the place to do it. It's too damn dangerous. But track days and big parking lot, MotoJitsu practice, I do crazy extreme risk stuff. That way the street is easy and there's hardly any risk. You see what I'm saying?
All right, cool. And Lydia clarified, I guess I should have guessed this. She said, how do you feel about the skills you learn in the MSF versus skills you've learned in the European motorcycle license? But I guess you just answered that by saying you didn't take the European motorcycle license.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
And so I've taken every single MSF course there is, the BRC, the BRC2, the MSF ARC, and
I'm going through them. Yeah.
And the MSF circuit rider course, which is supposed to be the top level one, circuit rider course. I did that as well. From my experience, all of the MSF classes, even the highest level one, maybe high school level, involving the techniques, the level of instructors that are teaching it, and what they're teaching, probably maybe high school level, right? Almost every single course on my website that I recommend are bachelor's and above. Just understand. So
Gotcha.
you're like, oh man, holy crap, I took the MSF circuit rider course. It's a really high level course. Understand there's more to learn. There's stuff beyond and above high school. Right.
All right. Dash Rider, what do you think about bikers in India? How specific? I love all bikers. What?
I don't think anything about bikers in India. That's why I say on my live streams, be more specific. What do you mean about about riding scooters and wearing no gear and 14 people? I always tell people it's a different culture. We can't use our way of thinking, the way we grew up in this culture, to apply those same principles to a different culture in a different part of the world. It's a mistake to do that, right? Is it the safest thing in the world? No. But if I grew up in that environment and I was in that area and I'm going no more than 10 miles per hour and there's 4,000 people going one direction on a scooter, yeah, I'm probably not going to wear gear because I grew up in that environment and that, you know what I'm saying? But if I go there right now and I rode a scooter and that like that, I'd definitely wear a helmet and probably a jacket and something like that. But would I be wearing my riding pants and boots? Well, maybe not. It depends. Where am I going? How fast am I going? What are the likelihood that's going to happen? It all, you have to dictate what you do based on the scenario you're in. But to say all those guys are crazy, unsafe, and they're all dumb and it doesn't make any sense, which I hear a lot of people say, you're not in that environment. You don't know what it's like to grow up in that culture, in that area, at that time, in that environment. So you don't know what you would do in that situation. So I would just have people be more cautious to understand there's a big gap between our way of thinking, and to apply that to different parts of the world is often a mistake.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, and Matthew Jones said, I'm wanting to improve my comfort in leaning the bike way over. However, I haven't found any large parking lots that aren't crap to do circles in. Any other tips?
If you're in the United States, DMV, schools, parks, you don't need a large parking lot. You don't need a parking lot. Go look on Google Maps and look at a roundabout. Go to a neighborhood where there's a roundabout. Go there for 10 minutes. Who's gonna come out for doing circles for 10 minutes? Nobody cares, right?
Oh, that's smart.
If they do, well, so what? Go the next block over and find a different roundabout at the end of the street, big, huge circle roundabout, and practice some circles there for 10 minutes. It's
smart. I hadn't thought about that. I was gonna say, if you can find some mountain curvy roads, that can be a far journey. But also lakes. That's been my go-to whenever I want a curvy road. There's a couple lakes not too far from where I live, not as far as mountains anyways. And the roads are like curvy and hilly around lakes, at least here in Georgia. So
if I fly to you and like get a hotel near you or whatever like that, and we go riding, like
you can stay in my guest room. What?
I'll stay with you. So when I come and stay with, are there twisties nearby? Because I want to take you riding and do a one-on-one with you.
The closest twisty there is a roundabout like 7 minutes away, and the lake is like 15 minutes away, but it's 25 miles per hour speed limit. But mountain curves are about an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Oh, that's
so a day trip amount. Like I'll do that in a day trip.
So I'll fly you here. We'll go do it here because there's twisty roads everywhere.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay, and I've got the last 2 questions of the stream, and then I'm cutting it off because I do have a call at 1:30, and it's 3 minutes from that. Okay. Terminator 1. Hey, Doodle. MotoJitsu, how you guys doing? Have you ever lost a bike to an accident? I have not.
Lost the bike. So my first accident was my CBR 1000. I crashed that, and I cracked the case, and I had to get it like fixed. Like it fell on the right side and cracked a bunch of stuff. So it cost a tremendous amount of damage, but I sold that bike after that accident because it was just really, really jacked up. And I realized I shouldn't have been on that bike in the first place because like giving a 15-year-old a Lamborghini, I didn't know what I was doing, and having that bike was just really dumb. So I sold it and got a different bike. So I guess you could say yes for me.
All right, cool. And then the last question of the day. Where'd I go? Cam N. It's for me. Have you done any MotoJitsu drills? They are great. I haven't, and because I want to do it with him. We've talked about me flying there or him flying here.
Yeah, definitely come here.
All right.
We'll come here and we'll do everything. We'll do MotoJitsu drills. We'll do twisty mountain roads. It'll be fun.
Cool. All right, and then actually I have a couple minutes left. So if there are any more questions, I will allow one more question before I gotta cut it off. So I'm just gonna scroll up real fast, make sure I didn't miss anything, or if someone wants to ask.
By the way, everyone, if anybody's still watching, I'm not joking. I'm not just saying that because of doing whatever. I love doing it. I spend hours and hours and hours a day replying to people. So if you have a question for me and she's about to cut off the stream, go on my Instagram, email me, go on whatever. I reply to everybody on every platform, Discord, YouTube. I get paragraphs of stuff emailed to me every day, like 20 emails a day of people asking me all kinds of stuff. So I love doing it. Just if you have a question we didn't get addressed, just get a hold of me some other way and I'll get back to you. Yeah.
And I second that. That's why I'm at a point now where I could tell a man I don't know on the internet, no, you can just stay in my guest room, because I've asked him enough questions over the years that he's responded. It's turned in conversations, and now he's my internet buddy. So yeah, so he really does. He's extremely responsive. He's our internet instructor. Yeah. But all right. I'm going to cut it off. Greg, do you have any parting words before I cut it off? Any where people can find you? Maybe you want to say that one more time.
MotoJitsu.com has the links to every single thing I have, my YouTube, my Discord, my Instagram, my email, everything else. But the biggest thing ever, the goal is to get home every single day. So ride in a way where you make it home every day. That's the biggest number one thing, because I want to live another day to wake up and ride more. You can't do that if you're taking a stupid amount of risk on the public roads. It's not worth it.
That's right. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. I'm going to shout out some names in the live chat right now. Thank you, Michael, Billy, Her Steel Steed, Jorge, John, Dyna Guy. I can get on a Harley just for you. Rick Vanderlee, Living the Dream, Jedifil, Ayiti, Jube, Armando, Moto Sigal, Tyler, Jared Monk, AJ McDonald. Okay, I'm going to stop there so I'm not just saying names. But thank you all for stopping by. Thanks for coming by on here, MJ.
You're very welcome. Thanks. Anytime you want to do this, just get a hold of me. You got my cell phone number. Just call me up.
All right, thank you. I'm hitting that end stream button now. 3, 2.